So we have our application looking the way we want it to look. Let's go back into our index.html ERB file and clean up this code a little bit. And actually this one here is the themes file, so we don't need that anymore. So we'll just exit out of that. And let's actually just exit out of the rest of these files because we don't really need them right now. And focus on this. So the first thing you'll notice is that the indentation on here uses 4 spaces. So if you come down here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And Ruby convention is to use 2 spaces. So let's convert all of this indentation of this entire file into 2 spaces. And the way to do that, at least in Sublime Text here, if you're following me, if you're using Sublime Text, you can follow me exactly, is indentation, convert indentation to tabs, make them all tabs, go back into indentation, tab width, 2 tabs, and now convert them back into spaces. Easy. So if we go all the way down to the bottom, it's all correctly formatted. So if we go here, it's 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's the first thing that we'll want to do. Secondly, we don't need all of this information right here. For one, in our application HTML, that's already defined for us right here. And this covers the entire application. Whatever we put in our application HTML ERB file, it's going to do that for all of the pages in the application. So here we don't need any of this, and we don't need to link anything in here. We don't need to link back to our CSS files. We don't need to link back to our icons because Rails does all of that for us. Because we're using Rails, we don't need to link back to any of those CSS files. So we can truly just take all of this and delete it. And if we look back into our application, it doesn't do anything because, again, Rails already by default points to those style sheets. Another thing we don't need is these tags right here because we already have it in our application ERB file. So we can get rid of those tags, and since we're getting rid of the beginning tags, we'll want to get rid of the ending ones as well at the bottom, at the very bottom. And we also don't need these JavaScript files. We don't need these script tags here because, again, by default, Rails already points to these JavaScript files. We don't need any of this right here, so we can get rid of those. Now if we save it, let's just do a refresh, make sure it didn't change anything on here. And there you have it. It doesn't change anything. Our JavaScript still works. What we can do is do Control-Alt and move it all the way back to where it should be. And then save it. So there we have it. We've cleaned up our code a little bit. Now, what we can do, what I like to do right off the bat, is to first do a refresh, make sure it hasn't changed anything, is to clean up the header a little bit. And we can do that by going into here, and so let's say this is called Reel2. Let's just do a quick search on Reel2. You'll see that this is where it's at. So let's say this is called Foodback, and on here, best restaurant reviews. Save it, do a refresh, and there we have it. Foodback, best restaurant reviews. And actually, let's just get rid of this window right here. And actually, what we can do is start getting rid of all of these up here. For now, we'll just start off with an About Us and Contact Us page. We don't need all of these drop downs right here. We can always add it back in if we'd like. But for now, let's just do a search on Contact Us. And these are the icons. We don't need this. We want a different one. Here we go. This is the one that we want. You can see this is where all of those drop downs are. So all we want is the contact one. Let's get rid of everything else for now. Just copy or select all of these up to here. That's the home page. Up to here. Go back in here, do a refresh. All we have is contact us. Actually, let's just copy the contact us and change it to about. Do a refresh, and there we have it. We have about us and a contact us page. And we're not going to change, we don't need to change any of this, at least not yet, because we're going to make it functional. We don't have an about us, contact us page yet. So a straight copy paste and changing the title is perfectly fine. In our next video, this is all, so before I even get to our next video, this is all in one page right here. And by convention, that's not good. We don't want it, we don't want everything on our homepage on one page. So what we'll do is create what Rails calls partials. So we'll start splitting all of this code into what we call partials, and instead of having all the code here, we'll split it up into different files, and then we'll just call that code here. So for example, this header tag right here, we'll split that up into, if it goes all the way down here, we'll split that up, this up into its own file, and then we can render this partial. So that's what we'll cover in the next video.